Dawn breaks over the Pacific as marine biologists spot a lost baby blue whale crying desperately for its mother. Hours pass with no sign of help until a pod of killer whales emerges from the depths. They circle their helpless prey, moving in for the kill. Suddenly, the ocean explodes as massive dark shadows surge upward through the waves. What emerged from the depths that day changed everything we thought we knew about marine life. The Pacific Ocean holds countless mysteries beneath its surface, but on one seemingly ordinary morning, a team of marine biologists witnessed something that would challenge everything we thought we knew about the complex social behavior of marine mammals. The research vessel cut through calm waters as the first rays of sunlight painted the sky. The team was conducting their routine study of gray whale migration patterns when movement in the distance caught their attention. Through their binoculars, they spotted something unusual, a lone figure moving through the waves in an erratic pattern. As they carefully maneuvered closer, the sight took their breath away. There, lost in the vast expanse of the ocean, was a baby blue whale. The scientists immediately understood the gravity of the situation. Blue whales are the largest animals to have ever existed on Earth, but this one was just an infant, completely vulnerable without its mother's protection. The calf's behavior spoke of pure desperation. It swam in tight circles, calling out again and again with haunting sounds that carried across the water. These weren't the usual vocalizations scientists were familiar with. They were distress calls, the plaintive cries of a frightened baby searching for its mother. The lead researcher, Dr. Sarah Martinez, immediately called for emergency protocols. The team had dealt with distressed marine mammals before, but never a baby blue whale. They needed to act fast while avoiding any actions that might cause more harm than good. The first priority was to establish a safe perimeter around the calf, ensuring no boats would approach too closely and add to its stress. The team deployed their underwater hydrophone system, hoping to detect any answering calls from adult blue whales in the vicinity. The haunting sounds of the baby's cries through their speakers only emphasized its isolation. Hour after hour, they monitored the frequencies used by blue whales, but only silence answered the calf's desperate calls. Dr. Martinez contacted nearby research stations and marine control units, alerting them to the situation. If the mother was anywhere within a 100-mile radius, they needed to know about it. She also reached out to marine mammal rescue specialists, though everyone knew the options for helping a baby blue whale were extremely limited. The calf needed its mother's milk. Without it, its chances of survival diminished with each passing hour. The scientists debated attempting to guide the whale toward shallower waters, where it might be safer, but any intervention carried huge risks. Using their engines too close to the calf might disorient it further or damage its sensitive hearing. Playing recordings of adult whale calls might draw predators. Each potential solution seemed to carry dangerous consequences. One of the younger researchers suggested trying to feed the calf, but Dr. Martinez quickly dismissed the idea. No artificial formula could replace blue whale milk, and approaching close enough to attempt feeding would likely terrify the already stressed infant. The best they could do was maintain their distance and try to keep other vessels away while continuing to search for adult whales. The research team watched helplessly as the calf's behavior became increasingly erratic. It would dive for several minutes, then surface in a panic, spinning in circles and calling out with renewed desperation. Each time it surfaced, they could see it was swimming more slowly, its movements becoming less coordinated. The lack of milk was clearly taking its toll on the young whale's strength. By mid-morning, the situation grew even more concerning. The calf had moved into deeper waters, following what it might have thought was its mother's song, but the scientists' instruments told them there were no other whales nearby. Dr. Martinez ordered the team to maintain a parallel course with the baby, but its confused wandering was taking them far from the normal migration routes, where they might have found other blue whales. The sun climbed higher as the scientists continued their desperate search for solutions. They had contacted every research vessel and marine patrol unit in a 100-mile radius. Multiple boats were now searching in an expanding pattern, looking for any sign of adult blue whales. But with each passing hour, the baby whale's cries grew weaker, its movements more sluggish. Around noon, Dr. Martinez noticed the calf was no longer diving as deep or as long. It was conserving energy, a survival instinct, but also a sign that its strength was failing. The team's frustration mounted as they watched the young whale struggling. Years of training and scientific knowledge, and still they could do nothing but watch and document. The situation was already critical when something far worse appeared. The surface of the water began to ripple as dark fins cut through the waves. Killer whales had arrived. The scientists watched in growing horror as the pod of orcas emerged, their distinctive black and white markings visible as they assessed their prey. These weren't just any predators. Killer whales are highly intelligent hunters known for their sophisticated group tactics. The pod began to execute a coordinated attack pattern, surrounding the baby whale in an ever-tightening circle. The calf's panic was evident as it tried to find an escape route, but the orcas had positioned themselves perfectly to cut off every potential avenue of retreat. The largest orca made the first strike with devastating precision. It charged at the baby whale's tail fluke. The impact was violent, meant to immobilize the prey. The calf thrashed desperately, trying to break free, but it was no match for these experienced hunters. More orcas moved in, their attacks becoming increasingly aggressive. From their vessel, the scientists could only document the brutal scene unfolding before them. The baby whale's chances of survival were diminishing with each passing second. The orcas had the advantage of numbers, strength, and hunting experience. It seemed impossible that anything could save the calf now. But then, something extraordinary happened. The ocean itself seemed to heave upward. Massive dark shapes emerged from the depths with explosive force, sending water cascading through the air. The size of these new arrivals dwarfed even the killer whales. The research team stood frozen, struggling to comprehend what they were witnessing. A group of them had arrived to defend a baby whale that wasn't even their own species. These gentle giants, known primarily for their haunting songs and spectacular breaches, were deliberately placing themselves between the orcas and their prey. It was behavior that defied everything scientists thought they knew about marine mammal interactions. What followed was nothing short of an oceanic battle. The humpbacks coordinated their movements with remarkable precision, their enormous bodies crashing into the orca formation. They weaponized their massive tail flukes, bringing them down onto the water's surface with thunderous force. Each impact created powerful shockwaves that disrupted the killer whale's coordination. But the humpbacks weren't done. They deployed their most formidable weapons, their pectoral fins. These 5-meter-long appendages, weighing half a ton each, became lethal instruments as the humpbacks swung them at the attacking orcas. The force behind these blows could be fatal, and the killer whales knew it. The orcas' confidence began to waver. Their perfectly coordinated hunting formation fell apart as they tried to avoid the humpbacks' counterattack. Two particularly large humpbacks pursued the retreating predators, driving them farther and farther away until they disappeared completely from the research team's view. In the aftermath of the battle, the baby whale was shaken but alive. Yet the humpback's extraordinary behavior didn't end with the rescue. A female humpback approached the traumatized calf, positioning herself beside it. With gentle nudges and patient guidance, she began leading it away from the danger zone. The scientists followed at a distance, documenting this unprecedented display of cross-species protection. For hours, the female humpback stayed with the baby whale, seemingly determined to ensure its safety. Her behavior showed all the hallmarks of maternal care, despite the fact that this wasn't her offspring or even a member of her species. As evening approached, a group of blue whales appeared on the horizon. The female humpback immediately altered course, guiding the baby whale toward them. It was as if she understood exactly what the calf needed. The group of blue whales noticed the approaching pair, and one female separated from the group to investigate. The scientists held their breath as they watched the interaction unfold. Would the blue whales accept this lost calf? The female blue whale circled the baby several times, checking it carefully. Then, in a moment that brought tears to the eyes of the hardened researchers, she guided the calf to join the group. The baby whale had found a new family. The female humpback remained in place, watching as the blue whales slowly moved away with the calf in their midst. Only when they had disappeared into the distance did she turn and swim away, her extraordinary mission of mercy complete. This incredible event sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Researchers began collecting and analyzing similar cases, discovering that humpback whales had been documented protecting other species from orca attacks multiple times. These gentle giants appeared to possess a deep-seated instinct to protect the vulnerable, regardless of species. In the end, this remarkable encounter showed us that in the vast depths of our oceans, there exist creatures capable of selfless compassion that rivals our own. These massive beings, with their mysterious songs and gentle nature, continue to surprise us with their capacity for empathy and protection.